Hello, Potato, and welcome to Weekend Magic for August the 20th, 2022. And as you can see, I am joined today by Minnie Mouse, which can only mean one thing. That's right, another Haunted Mansion video. No, not this week. Maybe next week, but not this week. This week, we are going to look at, of course, since you see we have the... I've been calling this for the last couple of years the King Arthur's Carousel Mini, but in looking at the tag, it doesn't actually say King Arthur anywhere in it. It just references that it's a carousel ride. It doesn't specify what carousel it is, and I wonder if that's because in the Magic Kingdom, they don't have King Arthur's Carousel. They have Prince Charming's Carousel. And, so I was going into this expecting this to be the one with the card and description that's the most different we've run into so far, but maybe not, because while the Mickey Mouse did say on it, Prince Charming Carousel, Minnie does not say King Arthur Carousel, so maybe Mickey won't reference it on his card either. But I'm a little interested in this one because the last couple of Mickeys, the plush in particular, have been a little lackluster. So I'm really hoping that this one will bring us back in quality, because the Minnie is pretty nice quality. I mean, she's nice. I like the bow with the 2 layers of fabric. She has a little crown here. Maybe not as fully realized a crown as it could have been. The only thing I didn't like about her, and I still don't, is the little like what, tabards, flags, whatever they are in here. This one on the side here has just never, it's been sitting out for 2 years. This has been on display for 2 years, and this has just never straightened itself out. It's always kind of stuck at that weird poofy angle. It's not really noticeable up on the shelf. It bothers me when I look at it up close. Pretty sure it bothered me in the video back then. It certainly bothers me now. But yes, Mickey Mouse Main Attraction Part 7, the July portion of it, came out last week at the beginning of August, and it arrived the other day, and we're going to take a look at it. So I really haven't looked at it yet other than to make sure everything was there. The box I feel is a little smaller than what they've been sending these in. So I did open it to make sure like nothing was like smashed in it. But everything looks at first, just kind of a quick glance, looks to be okay. But I am really looking forward to the plush on this one because the last two have not impressed me. Peter Pan looked like Mickey was just in like wet weather gear, and Tiki Room kind of looked like he was just going on vacation to Hawaii. But this time the pictures have looked really cool for this one. Looks like they've really gone out with design again. So I'm hopeful for this one in a way the last couple have kind of tamped down. But before we get to the plush, we have to start small, which means going down there to look at the small things. So starting off small means starting off with the pin. Here we go. As usual, the tag is right in front of the pin, so we can't see what it looks like yet. I do know, so I believe up to now, the pins have all had the month on them. And maybe it's just because carousel is such a long word. This time it's as in continuity, 7. So I mean, it's still the July one, but up to now they've said like April or APR, May, JUN. So I'm wondering if it's an issue of just carousel was too long and therefore they went with 7 instead of July, or if it's because they finally, to this point, we're getting orders in that, we're not releasing these on time. Let's stop putting months on them and just put the numbers. I guess we'll find out when Part 8 comes out in, I'm going to guess September, since July came out in August. Maybe, who knows, maybe they'll get it out. Maybe August. Maybe August will be the month where they catch up. But yep, MMA for Mickey Main Attraction, continuity, 7 for July, Carousel for Prince Charming's Carousel, LR pin for limited release pin, because it is the Prince Charming Regal Carousel limited release. Series 7 of 12. Let's pop it out of the bag. And I did just take a peek on here, taking it out, and it does say Prince Charming in the description. We'll get to that when we look at the key, because it's easier to read the back of the key, for me at least, than it is to read the back of this, because there's a big pin back right in the middle of the words, because as always, it's double pin backed. I think only this and the plush are still available, at least were like yesterday. on the Shop Disney site. The key, of course, is gone. The backpack is gone. We didn't get the backpack this time. But I think the ears are gone for this one, too, which I think's not been the usual kind of status quo for Mickey Mouse the Main Attraction. I still don't know if that's because they just adjusted how much they're making of each of these things, or if it's because this series just isn't doing as well as Minnie did, maybe because of Stitch Crashes last year, and because of the Princess Castle collection last year and this year, and because people are just kind of fed up also because they can't buy it in the stores, which is, to me, still a legitimate concern. But look at the pin. We got pin on pin going on again. Just a little pin on pin, though. Just the crown. Just his crown is a separate piece this time, which I feel we've had more layered action going on in some of the past pins. But it looks nice. He's very regal. Got a little fleur-de-lis there. Doesn't really visibly look so much like the Minnie as far as the styling. Because those are fleur-de-lis instead of carousel horses. But the colors are about right. Got the pie wedge eyes. It looks nice, but the Peter Pan pin looks nice too. And the actual plush was like a super disappointment to me, at least. Maybe not to you. Your mileage may vary, but I was not impressed with the plush. But we have to get to the plush. But first, that means we need to move on to the key. And here it is, our key for the Prince Charming carousel. Making it where you can see the key and not my reflection. But again, a unique sculpt. Maybe not as fancy as some of the last ones. I think the key was kind of the strongest point of the last two collections. This one, it's pretty straightforward. We do have the nice big carousel horse there, which does look like the carousel horse on Minnie's dress. It says Prince Charming Royal Carousel. And I think the kind of diamond checkerboard thing going on up here looks vaguely similar to... No, it doesn't. I was going to look vaguely similar to the pin of Mickey's clothing, but no, it really doesn't. But it's nice. We got the 50th logo there. We got a flower. It's not the most impressive one, but maybe that just means they didn't put all of the creative power this collection got into the key, which is maybe not a bad thing. Of course, it was like the first thing to sell it online, so it doesn't mean it wasn't popular. But here we have the words. Round and round, up and down, travel by steed or chariot on one of our whimsically designed carousel rides. Prince Charming Regal Carousel opened in 1971 in the Magic Kingdom Park at the Walt Disney World Resort. Each intricately carved seat is set against a reeling backdrop of captivating colors and musical merriment. Hang on for a delightful whirl on this classic attraction. Now this one is definitely different than the Minnie Mouse tag. Let's pull her into frame a little better here. And we can look at it and see on here, it's very similar. It just doesn't make reference to the name of the ride or when it opened. It is otherwise the same, but that line about Prince Charming Regal Carousel, that whole line is missing from Minnie's tag. So that's interesting to me, because I could have sworn this was sold as the King Arthur Carousel Minnie Mouse. But if it was, they didn't make reference to it on the plush itself. But still, key is nice, maybe a little bit more basic than some of the other ones in the collection. Not my favorite key by any means, but still nice, still looks quality. I would do, I think, a little bit of that plasticky kind of look again. I think it's the paint. I think it's the kind of gold paint they're using. Makes it look a little plasticky, despite the fact that it is supposed to be die cast. Now I haven't opened one of these to actually feel the key to verify it's metal, so maybe it's all just a trick, but I feel like if these were actually plastic, somebody would have opened them and said something by now. I'm sure somebody somewhere has created a keyboard and is not a keyboard, but a board of keys, and is displaying these as they get them. But that's enough of the key. Let's move on to the next slightly larger item, which would be the ears. Yep, we've got the ears. Now these ones are ones I have felt a little iffy about looking at the pictures. My wife liked them from the pictures, but I feel like a little iffy on these ones because of these tassels. And yeah, I'm not Not loving the stripper tassels there. And I'm not saying that they don't go with the carousel. They're a little stiff. They sit at weird angles. I kind of thought that would just kind of drop down flat, but it really doesn't. But yeah, we got the little stripper tassel thing going on here. I mean, it's cute. It's really not the worst ears. Of course, we have the big, long tag. We've got the cardboard tag, which has the same things on it that the key and the pin said. Lots of little sequins. We have that horse, like the one that appears on Minnie's dress. We have a little crown, kind of going with a theme here. The prince's crown. Does Prince Charming wear a crown in the movies? Of course, on the side it just says Prince Charming. Oh, here we go. So the first time they've had something on both sides of the ears. We have Prince Charming over here and Royal Carousel over here. We also have this pinching on the fabric that I don't like. Not super bad over here, but I feel like that's not great. But again, if you're wearing them or displaying them, I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. What's noticeable is that these tassels don't straighten out. It's because the string's not the same length, and that is probably part of it. But this is it's stiff. It doesn't want to straighten out. Like, it's almost like it's glued at that angle to the end of the string. That's weird. I don't know, maybe my wife can coax those down a little bit. I'm not sure what she's going to do with these, so maybe it won't be an issue. If they end up back in a bag, it won't be a problem. Let's look at the back. Got the 50th. We got some very, I don't know, kind of my first thought is wallpaper, but in your really flowery guest room wallpaper, maybe, or maybe even like the guest bathroom. I don't know. It's cute. It's a nice design. I mean, for me, the ears aren't for... I know they say these are Mickey ears and not Minnie ears because there's no bow on them, but I really feel like these are not kind of made with your average heteronormative guy in mind. They're cute, but not the best ears, not the worst ears, not loving the tassels, but but it just means that my expectations for the plush are a little bit more tempered. I'm not going to say they didn't put some work into this. I mean, it's a nice design. It's well thought out. It's well proportioned. We're doing like a hat thing again, but I think as far as actually the hats go, this may be about the best setup one. It's not sticking out at the front or the back at all, like some of the other ones have been. It is that kind of foam material. It all feels like very vinyl-y. It doesn't look vinyl-y, but it feels vinyl-y. But this, to be fair, the things on Minnie's dress also kind of feel like that. So maybe it's the same material. But I think I do like the way they've put the crown on this one compared to some of the other hats on the other ears in this collection. All right, we've looked at the pin, we've looked at the key, we've looked at the ears, which means it must now be time for the grand finale of this video. The plush. Yes, here he is. Mickey Mouse, the main attraction, Prince Charming's Regal Carousel. Was it Regal Carousel? Regal Carousel, yes, it is Regal. I was going to say Royal, but it's Regal. And we do have our Mickey Mouse. As I was going to call him like King Mickey, but obviously if it's Prince Charming's Carousel, he must be Prince Mickey. Let's get the paper off him. I do like that that's there because this is that kind of fabric that is kind of can like stick to stuff and come apart. I do unfortunately dislike the fact that I've just totally shredded that paper because he needs to go back in here at least for a while until we figure out where to display him. So, but here he is, first glance. Not bad. Not hating it. Let's get him on a doll stand so we can stand him up and get a good proper look at him. All right, here we are, the royal couple together now. If he looks a little weird compared to Minnie, that's because I have not put him on the doll stand the way I normally would, because he's got this lovely cape here, and I don't want to obscure the view of it. I like this one. I like this a lot better than Tiki Room or Peter Pan. There's a lot more detail here, a lot more work. I like the crown. I kind of wish they'd done Minnie's crown more like that, because that would look really cool next to each other. I get that Minnie needs to have her bow, but the crown offset off of one ear I think really looks cool on him, and it would look good on her too. Maybe stick the bow on the crown. Now that said, I don't know that in 2020 or probably 2019 when they actually designed her, they had doing Mickey Mouse in 2022 in mind. So they may not have, been thinking about how they would look together. But yeah, I do like him. I like him quite a bit. We got the fleur-de-lis as the pin had. He doesn't look like he's going out for fish and chips in the rain. He doesn't look like he just got off the plane for a vacation. His little tunic here is made out of, actually a little bit, it's very similar, but her stuff feels a little stiffer. His has got more give to it. Hers is, I don't know, it feels maybe just a tiny bit thicker. Maybe that's part of the aging, but pants and shoes are just kind of eh. But I really like is the cape. I wish it wasn't so wrinkled from shipping, but I do like the cape. We got that same carousel horse we have on everything else in the collection. It's, except for here, you can't see it on the pin, but it's on the ears there, it's on the key there, and it's on his cape. Very nice on the cape. Also like the kind of the fur going on around here at the top of the cape. Of course, I got Disney World 50th on the ear, which I almost feel, I mean, I guess it's on the back, so you're not going to see it on display, but I almost feel like that kind of detracts from these two together. And maybe they don't have, I mean, they must have somewhat in mind that people are going to have both collections and display them together, but that also makes me why it's on the back. His ear's got a little lump in it there. What's up with that? It doesn't feel like it's the inside of the ear bent over. It feels like maybe it's just some cloth bent over in it. Not a big deal, I suppose. But of course, we have to check for tail. We have to do a tail check. A tail check. Does he have a tail? He has a tail. All right. And then we have to compare our skin colors. And what do you think? I feel like she's maybe a little, so I can't tell if it's shadow or not, but I kind of feel like she would be a little darker, but that also could just be 2 years of cumulus, because she does actually seem to have a little bit of there's some dust going on her head here. Let's fix that real quick. I did not notice that dust on her when I put her on the table here. But yeah, I think the skin color is pretty good. I think the differences I'm seeing, I don't know how the video picks it up, but I feel like it's just because of the lighting in here is making him look a little bit of a different color than her. The white's a good match. The gray is a good match. His nose is a little bigger than hers. Have they always been like that? He has a gray mouth with a pink tongue, which I think, wasn't that an issue we had with one of the others? Was it Peter Pan? I think maybe it was Peter Pan, where he had like a bright red tongue that color-wise didn't match in with anything else. But here we have the pink tongue that does match in to, of course, the pink on Minnie and the pink on his clothes. But I like him. I like him a lot better than the last two. We're definitely back on track here. Now, of course, the best is yet to come. Haunted Mansion, in part 10, whenever part 10 actually comes out. But for now, this is one of the better ones. It's definitely top 7. No, it is one of the better ones. It's definitely better than the last two, in my opinion. Your mileage may vary. Now, looking next to each other, I feel like he pulls off the sense of like royalty better than she does. She just looks like she's in a really nice, fancy dress that's carousel themed. He actually looks like, like the Kingdom Hearts version of Game of Thrones or something. I really like that detail of his cape. I like the way the crown looks on him. It could maybe be straightened out a little bit. It's got a little bit of a crease up here, which is not great on the front. But, I mean, that's gonna happen when they're shipped in bags. It's not too badly dinged up, but it's kind of a stiff, like a felt on the back and that kind of plasticky, kind of this stuff on the front. Which, what was she made out of? Yeah, her crown's like the same material. So yeah, I definitely like them next to each other. I I don't feel necessarily either one of them brings the other up. I almost feel like there's just a little bit of a mismatch. She's just in kind of a fancy dress, and he actually looks like he, is dressed like regally. In a way that now looking at them together, I feel like they kind of missed an opportunity with her to give her a more regal look. So I suppose that's if that's as disappointing as this collection gets, so that's fine. Yeah, I think I like him better than the mini. My wife likes the mini. This one's actually been on display since 2020, which is why it has some dust on it. So, I mean, it's definitely one of the preferred ones in this household, but I like him better than Minnie. I like them next to each other. I just feel like he looks a little more regal than she does. But still very nice. Very nice, and just Minnie aside, he's a great rebound from a couple of series of, to me at least, disappointing plush. But that's it. That is our Mickey Mouse Minnie Attraction Prince Charming Regal Carousel collection, with, of course, a special appearance by Carousel Minnie. Not King Arthur Carousel Minnie, just Carousel Minnie. So that feels like a good place to wrap this video up. Why don't you, down in the comments below, let me know which of these you like better, and since we're over halfway through the collection now, what has been your favorite Mickey so far? For me, I think I still like Pirates the best. I like that they kind of went all out with the pirate costume on it, in a way that they sort of did with this too. I love that cape, but Pirate Mickey, I feel, is still a little bit better. Again, Haunted Mansion's coming, so we're gonna withhold the best overall until at least part 10. But yeah, let me know which one you like the best between these two, and which Mickey is your favorite so far. And I hope you found this video at all interesting or entertaining. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.